if you're going to trailer launch a boat in salt water, you're going to have trouble with hubs, bearings, brakes, anything basically that is a moving part that gets submerged. The way they work on this trailer is that the car decelerates, this compresses, and the linkages along here run all the way back to the point where a cable is pulled out of the back of this hub, and that's the braking on both wheels. And then the bearing is in here as well, and it took me a while to figure it out because there's no obvious part numbers on the outside. This is a KNOTT system, KNOTT, so have a look. Many of them are quite similar, should be helpful for most types and very helpful if you've got this type.
Now this took me months to figure out, just figuring it out step by step, talking to people, and it ain't easy. You can see the bending in the bar as I try and get this off. Now it's 280 Newton meters, and that's what it looks like. It's very, very tight, but we got there. What I normally do is I jack up the trailer so that the boat is self-draining and the wheels are off the ground, and then just when I'm walking past every now and again I kick them, but this one time I didn't do it and it seized up. Now it took me a long time to figure out what to do next. I thought this circlip would be the answer. I thought maybe adjusting this bolt on the back would be the answer, and it could have been. I'll show you that later. It's kind of torturous to look at. This trailer is 3 years old. I've been launching it into salt water though, and I've been freshwater washing it after every use. But salt water, man, it's hard on steel. These part numbers are on the inside of the hub, but I couldn't find any reference to them online. You can see my attire keeps changing because I keep coming back to this job trying to figure it out until I finally did. I figured out that the cables were locking the brakes into the on position, and this was why I could not remove that hub. So off it went. As soon as I got the cable cut, there was a difference in the feeling of the hub, and I could also pull off this bell coupling here, which allowed the whole end of the cable to be released. You can see here there's a lot more motion, but I was not off the hook. It still was going to take more work. So I put the bolts back in to get an axis on it or get some sort of grip onto it. I didn't have a puller. I'm sure you can build or get equipment for this, but I ended up using my good neighbour Colin's rubber hammer, which I'm going to steal off him if I can. That seemed to have just about the right sort of grip and impact to gradually work this out bit by bit. What you're about to see on my face is the release of a morning of so many lost winter trips and the joy of knowing that the summer ahead is going to work.
Jesus. How long did it take me to get in there? This is how it works. This is pulled by the cable, and that expands them out, and that's released. Expanded, released. What I see here, there's a lot of corrosion in here.
So I'm just going to show you the numbers that I could find stamped on the inside of this hub.
Bearings feel all right.
So next thing was just to pull the whole assembly apart and free it up. The only thing holding all of this in here is the adjustment bolt, which I'm turning here, and this little latch hook. They're a quite clever little spring with a hook on the end that goes through the inner plate. Getting them off of the assembly is just pull it open, the jaws essentially, and it unhooks the adjustment part, which you can see in the top right of the hub. Look at the dust and rust just falling out of it, 3 years old.
So you can see here the setup, and that is that the bearing is actually inside this, and it just rides on here, and then this brake mechanism goes in here, and this is looking from the inside of the trailer towards the outside. So this would be the cable, and you can see the little mechanism there. This is the cable that I cut because it was seized, which was locking the hub onto the wheel. So it pulls, and then it's
As you look at it on the back of the wheel here, this is the other half of it, and then this half, and the cable meets it like that. So when the car decelerates, this cable pulls, these expand and hit the inside of this. Now there is one last part of the equation, which is this adjustment bolt, which threads in to this, which acts as a wedge between these two here. In there like that. So that is the adjustment on the brake. So it is this screw that adjusts how tight or loose those brake shoes are. Here's how it works. That's it expanded, and that's it loosened. In getting this on, you want the bottom side hooked in first, and then it holds that little lug in. Both of these lugs here are loose, that one there and this one. So with it secure like that, you can get it on. It's held on here with the little spring catches. And technically that brake, as far as I can understand it, is all working. It just needs a new cable. It's all fully functional. So these bearings are sealed bearings, and on this side, on the inboard side, where it sits against there, this is rubber. This little bit here is rubber. So I'm just going to show the part numbers that I could find on these bearings in case you've got the same setup as me. So now that I can see inside this, I can see that the way I could have freed this up is loosening this bolt and then hammering it out to release this wedge, which allows us these to close, which move these away from this face. Looking at the outside of it now, this circlip is only there for removing these bearings when it's time to change them. And then this would be what you see when it's sealed. There is a rubber that should be there. That's all that's left of it. So I've got to solve that problem. So I suppose it's probably not the right grease, but I got to work with what I have. And I'm gonna reassemble this just to see if I'm right that the brake is freed up. And then all I'll need to do is get a new cable and the new rubber to go into this, the cap. And it's nice and clean now. Oh man. Oh man. Done at last. Now this nut is 30 mil and it's 280 Newton meters. My torque wrench only goes up to 208. So what I ended up doing was, before I opened it, I put a very small chisel mark on the axle and this nut, so I could see exactly where it was. And when I got to 280 Newton meters, it was just like a millimeter or two short of the mark. It would be physically impossible to be around again, so I knew where the mark was, and it was done. So, hope you enjoyed that. If you want to follow the adventures of this boat, follow us on YouTube. That was the only ginger nut I found in the whole job. The rest of them stubborn as hell.